Hi, I'm Aaron Shade, and I'm presenting my front-end portfolio project. I started out with the whole course wanting to make something I'm calling pickup games. It's a not quick and easy, but a lightweight site that allows users to find players or find groups or find games for anything across most genres. So if you're wanting to find a football pickup game, you want to find a role-playing group on Friday nights, you want to uh, go shoot people with Nerf guns. Just as long as it's some sort of fun that you can have around the city, I wanted to give a unified place to do it. You can find a football pickup game web app. You can find it you can find it online. It's just you can't really find a unified source for all of those things. So I created pickup games. I try to keep it lightweight, so I use very few JavaScript frameworks. I use React, React Redux, React Animations. I use a few, and I've listed them on the About page, but I try to keep it pretty light. I don't use Bootstrap. I don't use React Strap. I don't use a lot of those things that would make this a lot easier because I wanted to make things very specific and I wanted to keep the rest out. That being said, the only other goal I had for this whole thing when I started was I wanted to do CRUD operations with some sort of database. In this case, I'm using just a JSON file behind a data server. I'm looking to expand that in the future, but this is pickup games. As you can see, I've got a nice big Google Map image here. Eventually, I want to reach out to Google API and pull and have an active map. That's kind of a day two project for me after finishing this course. Otherwise, I wanted to be players to be or users to be able to filter down results based on what kind of things they're looking for. So things like I want to look for board games in my area. Okay, here's what I've got going on. I want to look for role play games and so on and so forth. As you can see, I've got this filtering out very nicely. I've got this nice little button telling me what kind of filter I'm looking at. If players aren't picky, it goes right back to the all. Um, I'm displaying the top five here for demonstration purposes, but the all listing will show all. I also wanted to give, as I said, one of my goals was to do CRUD operations, so I give users the ability to enter their own information. I'm going to do a quick run real quick here with some fake data just to show that it's working. We'll call this a tabletop game. And it looks like it posted. And there we go. So there's all of my information, which means if I go back to the home page and I filter on tabletop games, there's our nice test. Really, that's the basics of the whole thing to allow users to enter their own information. So if they're looking for a player or they want to say, hey, I've got a game going on, or hey, I'm looking for a game, they can post it very quickly and easily. Ideally, in the future state, I would have that posting out to Google Maps API to update this map real time. But that's really the basic idea. A couple challenges I had through all of this was I actually had a relatively easy time setting up Redux, but my biggest challenge was actually with this form, getting it to interact with Redux in a structure that was usable for me on that front end where I'm doing all the filtering. For example, I wanted to use all of my icons here as an array, and forcing my form to crunch all of those into an array was quite interesting. I look forward to being able to change that in the future where I can be a little bit more specific about it and kind of condense all of these if statements down. But basically, the idea is that they're checkboxes, and I'm changing their state, and I'm pushing that state, or I'm using those interactions to feed my icons bay. The only other thing that I had kind of a little bit of a trouble with was actually fetching my results from my JSON data structure. That took a couple days where I was struggling, but it wound up just being some simple syntactical errors. But yeah, that's basically it. That's a quick elevator pitch of pickup games. Again, what I'm looking to do in the future is to take address information from the user, bind that into a package that I can send out to the Google API and have that come back and populate this map. I would also like to have a color changing, a theme change every time I do a different filter, so my entire color palette changes, which is also why I wanted to keep this very tight and concise with all of the build. I wanted to have a very tight control over the CSS and how I'm handling all those themes. That's my demo. Thank you very much. You all have a good day.